You've come to the right place if you're looking to create, launch, and scale a high value online training program. I'm your guide, Chris Badgett. I'm the co founder of LifterLMS, the most powerful learning management system for WordPress. Stay to the end. I've got something special for you. Enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of LMS Cast. I'm Chris Badgett, and this is another solo episode. And today we're going to be discussing the pros and cons, the differences between membership sites and standalone courses. There's a very important decision you need to make either in the beginning or as you're getting started and figuring out how you're going to build an online education company as to which path you're going to take. Either I'm going to build a membership site or a standalone course or multiple standalone courses, or potentially a hybrid model that is I offer standalone courses and I offer memberships. So, first, let's talk about the difference and come to agreement on terms. So, what is a standalone online course? Well, a standalone online course typically has a one-time payment. The student gets access to the training, could be a series of videos, other resources, PDFs, maybe quizzes and assignments, perhaps get a certificate. Now, it is possible to add recurring revenue to a standalone online course in a couple of ways. One simple way, which isn't real recurring revenue, is to actually add a payment plan. So if it's expensive, let's say it's a $1,000 online course, you could have a price tag of $1,000 or 4 payments monthly for $250. That's not necessarily a recurring revenue situation, it's more of a payment plan. But you can add a recurring revenue to standalone online course by simply offering things like group coaching every month or an online community so that they can cancel anytime. Say your goal is to still make $1,000 and you charge $100 a month for access to the course and the coaching and the community. And most people who join your program end up staying for approximately 10 months. So there you get your $1,000 as an example through mostly really just a standalone online course that has that added benefit. Now, what is a membership site? Memberships, the word is often used in many different ways. So I want to tell you how I think about it, particularly at Lifter LMS, and how membership sites can be different from online courses. So if you're building an education company, you're probably going to have a courses aspect to your site. But in a membership site, there's probably going to be a lot of other things going on outside of courses that people get access to by enrolling in your membership. So, one way to think about a membership site is that it can grant access to an online course or multiple online courses or future online courses you have not even created yet, but plan on creating over time. But it can also include aspects, or I'm sorry, access to other parts of your website, like private content that exists outside of courses. So a simple example might be a members only blog or newsletter or resource library of digital downloads. It could be parts of pages or expanded content beyond what's freely available on your site. With a tool like Lifter LMS, you can control access outside of courses via memberships to other parts or pieces of your website, or other benefits like access to a community calendar, which has access to coaching calls or community events and that sort of thing. So, the most simple way to think about it is that a standalone course is just one course. Usually, those are sold for one time payment. And a membership site is much more complex. It can be a bundle of courses and other benefits or access to other parts of your website. Now, a learning management system like LifterLMS is infinitely flexible. So, however you want to do it, whether it's a simple standalone online course or a multi instructor online school with fancy membership benefits as well, both are possible with Lifter LMS. So, just to get into the pros and cons, the benefits and drawbacks of either option, standalone online courses, if it's particularly just access to the content, maybe a certification, there's really no way to get recurring revenue because it's pretty straightforward. There's a limited scope course. People go in, they take the course, they learn the knowledge, they create skills, maybe get a certificate, and they're done. So that's not really a recurring revenue situation. One of the benefits of a standalone online course is it's a lot less work for the course creator. So once you've created it, you're done and it's up there. But a drawback to that is you may have to do continuous marketing to get new people over and enrolling in your course. Now, there's a lot of great education entrepreneurs out there that all they have ever done is they have one standalone online course, and every year or every 6 months, they make it better and better. They do a launch or a marketing launch of their course multiple times a year. And that's the launch model. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, one thing I'd like to highlight here is some of this depends on your personality. So, in all my time as an entrepreneur and working with other entrepreneurs, I've found that there's a spectrum, two ends to the spectrum of different kinds of entrepreneurs. One I call the focused entrepreneur, and the other I call the serial entrepreneur. So a serial entrepreneur creates like many different businesses and many products, or they're constantly creating and ideating and doing a lot of new things. Now there's pros and cons to being a focused entrepreneur. Like I have my one thing. I'm actually more of a focused entrepreneur. I am super focused on Lifter LMS. I've been doing it for over a decade. I am a focused entrepreneur. But a serial entrepreneur would create many different software products and many other businesses and just have this portfolio, if you will, of businesses. And neither is better or worse. And a pro tip for you right here is that if a focused entrepreneur teams up with a serial entrepreneur and they have good chemistry and they can work together, it's really a beautiful thing. They're just the different ways they see the world and operate when they're in partnership. It is super powerful and unstoppable in that way. So that's just a pro tip. I know there's a lot of like husband wife teams as an example, creating education companies or business partners. And if they are different in that focused versus serial aspect, they can be really powerful. But a standalone online course is more of a focused approach. But if you're going to be like, okay, I really want a membership site and I have ideas for 20 different courses and this coaching program and online community, you can do, you're more of a serial entrepreneur in that way. And that is very cool. But it's also a lot more work. Focus is more scattered. In my opinion, success is less likely because focus is spread out. So it really depends on your approach and who you are and what your personality is. The big benefit of a membership site is that you're going to get multiple options for recurring revenue. You can keep adding new courses, you can add other resources to a digital library, you can keep creating a private blog, private newsletter, keep delivering online coaching, keep developing your community. This episode of LMS Cast is brought to you by Pop-Up Maker, the most powerful, trusted pop-up solution for WordPress. Whether you're selling online courses or memberships, Pop-Up Maker helps you grow your email list, boost sales conversions, and engage your visitors with highly customizable pop-ups. Imagine creating custom opt-ins, announcements, and promotions that actually convert. I personally use Pop-Up Maker on my LifterLMS websites for lead magnet opt-ins, cart abandonment, upsells, downsells, and guiding users to helpful content. Pop-Up Maker is an essential tool for growing my email list and making more money online through my website. Ready to take your website to the next level? Head on over to wppopupmaker.com/LMScast and save 15% on your order. Discount automatically applies when you visit through that link. Pop-Up Maker also has an awesome free version, so you can just use that as well. Go to wppopupmaker.com/LMScast and save 15% off your order, or get started with the free version now. Get more leads and sales on your website with Pop-Up Maker today. Now back to the episode. So the trade-off between a standalone online course and a membership is the membership is a lot more work. So the demand on you to create content and the surface area that you have to manage is a lot more with a membership site. Now, I'm actually a big fan of what I call the hybrid model. So, the most simple version of a hybrid model is to do a standalone online course and then just add a coaching or community aspect to it. And that allows you to get recurring revenue while also having a focus on one main course. In a Lifter LMS, you don't even have to create a membership to do that. You can use what we call access plans to, let's say you have one plan that's like just the course for $500, or another access plan in the pricing table that says you get the course plus these ongoing coaching and community benefits. And this plan costs $100 a month. So you can literally offer both options. You're opening up the world to recurring revenue. So that's a very simple example of how to create a hybrid model. One of the ways to also do hybrid is to have a standalone course, but then also a membership that has way more stuff in it. So if you think about your buyer's journey, let's say earlier in the journey, you have a $500 starter course that helps people get started and get going. That's your standalone course. And it's like your 101. Like you have to start here. You have to start with the course to get oriented and really become a perfect fit for the membership, the 201, which is available later. So the membership then, let's say it includes 3 advanced level courses and also additional benefits like community or coaching as well. So in that way, if you look at your ideal learner's journey, you're asking them to, hey, start here in the JV or the junior varsity, the level one, the freshman, using traditional university language. And then if when you're ready, you can jump into the bigger membership, which is more expensive, more benefits, and recurring. There's a recurring cost to that. So that's a hybrid model. I'm also a big fan of free courses, so like free standalone courses. So maybe even before they're ready to be a freshman or JV, you have a free course to get people ready to even be ready for the standalone course. So free course, then standalone, paid course, and then membership. And when it comes to offers, I like to only offer a maximum of 3 choices like that. Because once you get more complicated than that, you start to really confuse buyers. And there's a saying that the confused mind doesn't buy, which is very true. So think about that and how you in how you construct your model. And just some examples of this, like KPC, who does Slick Business is the name of her platform, and she does active campaign and marketing automation training. And she's very membership site focused. So I'm just pulling up KPC's website. You can find that at slickbusiness.co. And if I go to her Active Campaign Academy, there's basically two options. There is the Essential Academy, which is $97 per month at the time of this recording. And there's the Advanced Academy, and that's $187 per month. And within this, she has training, she has office hours, she has community, she has the entry level course for the first option, the Essential Academy. And then she has extra courses with more information for the advanced people in the Advanced Academy plan. And this is Kay is doing a classic membership site, and that's awesome. But Kay is going to have to deliver ongoing office hours, which she does weekly, and continue to support her other member bonuses. So that's like a classic membership site. Kay's done very well with her platform. And she's such a great example of building a membership site. But then if you think about a standalone course creator, we have people that have, let's say they were a Udemy instructor and they had a course on this topic. It's sold for 50 bucks on Udemy and they want more ownership, power, control, and customizability over their course. I'm thinking of someone like Frank Kane, who has made over $2 million in revenue with over 600,000 students in his standalone courses. So he does several standalone courses. And Frank does a lot of education in the tech sector, helping engineers level up on certain things like how AWS, Amazon's platform works, and so on. So that's just another great example of a standalone membership, or sorry, a standalone online course. And Frank is a serial creator. So technology is constantly changing. So he's creating new courses that help with a particular tech skill to help people get good jobs or do their job well and that sort of thing. So that's a example of a standalone online course. And we talked about free courses. So one of Lifter LMS's most popular course is a free course called the Official Quick Start course for the Lifter LMS community. That's awesome. And that is free. And it's only about an hour of content. And we've had something like 40,000 people enroll in that. So it's a very strong like lead magnet and gets people ready for the software, which technically is a membership, by the way, an annual recurring subscription, unless you get a lifetime license. And the course, the free course, gets people really ready for the ongoing membership to the software, that learn how to use the tool, make sure it's a good fit for them. And then it'll also help them get started once they become a customer to learn the essential 5% of the software so that they can launch their education company as quickly as possible. So that's an example of a standalone free course. So it's really up to you which path you choose to move forward with in terms of standalone courses versus memberships. And you can just have a standalone course with no coaching and no community, one-time payment, lifetime access. This is the quote least amount of work. It's still really hard to create like a great standalone online course, but when you commit to a membership site, you are committing to a much bigger ongoing commitment that's going to have a lot of demand on your time and the need for you to create content. So if you're going to create recurring revenue, you have to create recurring value, which means you're either going to have to continually be creating new courses and other content to drop into the membership, or have ongoing benefits like office hours, group or private coaching, or a helpful, supportive online community. So, different ways to think about that. We also have a lot of continuing education or professional development creators using Lifter LMS. So, this is also a great niche. This is more like a standalone course approach. So, if someone needs to get, let's say, 2 hours of continuing education credits to keep their license in the medical system or in some business niche or legal or real estate or whatever it is, they need to get their continuing education credits by taking standalone courses. Now, you can introduce a membership using Lifter LMS where you get a bundle of courses so you can get all, say, 20 hours for the next year or 2 years to keep your license and so on. So there's a lot of people doing hybrid approaches, but the main point is if you're going to do recurring revenue, you have to find a way to create recurring value. So I'd love to hear from you. Any questions or comments around the decision to do standalone courses or the membership site model? And I would encourage you just to do some soul searching and really decide if you are a focused entrepreneur or a serial entrepreneur, serial creator. And again, neither one of these is better than the other and is super powerful if, within the same education company, you can combine both the focus and the serial creator aspect. It's a dynamic duo, if you will. So that's it for this episode of LMS Cast. I hope you'd enjoyed that. I wish you all the best with your standalone online courses and or membership site or hybrid model. And that's a wrap for this episode of LMS Cast. Did you enjoy that episode? Tell your friends and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And I've got a gift for you over at LifterLMS.com/gift. Go to LifterLMS.com/gift. Keep learning, keep taking action, and I'll see you in the next episode.